Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on open channel flow. In this video we will discuss use of the jump as an energy dissipator. What is hydraulic jump? When the supercritical stream meets subcritical stream, uh, in this process there is a jump occurs which is called hydraulic jump. In hydraulic jump there is a huge loss of energy. This high energy loss character of the hydraulic jump we can use as an energy dissipator system below a hydraulic structure. What happens at the downstream side of hydraulic structures like spillway, there is a high energy associated with the stream which may score the floor of downstream channel if there is no provision to dissipate this energy. The downstream portion of the hydraulic structure where the energy dissipation is deliberately allowed to occur so that the outgoing stream can safely be conducted to the channel below is known as a stilling basin. It is a fully paved channel section and may have additional appurtenances such as baffle blocks and sills to add in the efficient performance over a wide range of operating conditions. Stilling basins are so designed that not only a good jump with high energy dissipation characteristics is formed within the basin, but it is also stable. For economic considerations, the basin must be as small as practicable. Stilling basins of generalized design. Generalized stilling basins have been developed by many agencies. The designs given by USBR are most extensively used ones. Three stilling basin designs called respectively as USBR basin type 2, 3 and 4 are recommended for energy dissipation below spillways and at outlets of canal structures. The USBR basin type 1 is just an apron for the full length of a strong hydraulic jump in a rectangular channel, and its dimensions serve as a measure the efficiency of other three types of stilling basins, that is type 2, type 3 and type 4. The jump in basin type 1 is a free jump, and this basin is not recommended for use in the field. The USBR basin type 2 to 4 include many appurtenances such as chute blocks, baffle piers, and end sill, and cause forced hydraulic jump to take place within the confines of the basin. These basins are of smaller dimensions than that of an equivalent type 1 basin. Let's see type 2 basin firstly. The USBR basin type 2 basin is used for large structures such as spillways of large dams and large canal structures. The lower limit of inlet Froude number F1 for this type of stilling basin is usually taken as 4.5, means the Froude number of supercritical stream should be greater than or equal to 4.5 to use this type of basin. The inlet velocity should be less than 18 meter per second, and the tail water depth in this case is 0.97 times of y2. y2 is the depth of flow after the jump in case of free hydraulic jump. Okay, here in this type 2 basin we are developing the forced hydraulic jump. That's why this tail water depth is some amount less than the tail water depth of free hydraulic jump. USBR basin type 3. Basin of type 3 is an improved version of type 2 and cover the same range as F1 greater than or equal to 4.5. The major change is the introduction of a row of baffle piers, which is also known as floor blocks. This is provided at around the mid length of the basin. Due to the additional resistance to flow offered by these floor blocks, the length of type 3 basin is shorter than that of type 2 basin. This basin is meant for use in medium-sized spillways and canal structures. The upper limit of application is at a discharge intensity, that is small q, less than or equal to 18 meter cube per second per meter, and the range of inlet velocity v1 up to 15 to 18 meter per second, that is the inlet velocity should be less than 18 meter per second to use this type of basin. The tail water depth is 0.83 times y2. USBR basin type 4. The type 4 basin is recommended for use with jumps having F1 in the range 2.5 to 4.5, which may occur in small size canal structure and small spillways. These stilling basins not only dissipate the energy but also aimed to reduce the formation of waves and possibility of post jump in the channel downstream of the basin. Now let's see a small description of the appurtenances that is used in these basins, that is chute blocks, baffle piers and end sill. Firstly, we look at chute blocks. These blocks are used prior to the commencement of the stilling basin and are located in the approach channel. The channel at the upstream of the basin is called approach channel. Okay, so these chute blocks are provided or located in the approach channel. The main purpose of these blocks is to lift and split the oncoming high velocity flow to enable good interaction in the jump. These blocks help to stabilize in the jump and help to improve their performance. The chute blocks are usually provided in one row with uniform gaps between the blocks. Next is baffle piers. These blocks are also known as baffle blocks and floor blocks. These are specially shaped blocks placed in one row in the middle region of the stilling basin. They offer resistive force to the high velocity incoming flow and assist in creating a forced hydraulic jump within the basin over a wide range of flow parameters. Out of the 3 USBR basins, only type 3 basin uses these blocks. While these blocks are useful in small and medium approach velocities in the basin, they suffer from the possibilities of cavitation in very high approach velocity situations. The height of baffle piers H3 is a function of the approach Froude number, that is F1, and depth of flow Y1, and its dependency is given by the relation as 3 divided by y1 is equal to 0.168 F1 plus 0.38. Next is end cell. The end cell assists in controlling the formation of the jump within the basin and also in controlling the score in the channel downstream of the basin. And how it works: the flow leaving the basin is lifted up in a trajectory that impacts on the stream bed farther from the sill with a beneficiary impingement pattern. Okay, so in this way the floor of the channel is protected from the score phenomenon. Two kinds of end cells, that is solid end cell and dentated end cells, are in use. The height of end cells H4 is a function of approach Froude number F1 and the depth of flow Y1, and its dependency is given by the relation H4 divided by Y1 is equal to 0.0536 F1 plus 1.04. So this was all about how hydraulic jump can be used as an energy dissipator. In the next video we will discuss the next topic of open channel flow. Thank you.